Live coming from the Family Worship Center here in Cleveland. See, I told you that's the reason we're doing this. I don't have to edit things. Guys, it is such a great opportunity to have you three ladies in here. I have been talking with Miss Wanda for almost, 2 or 3 years now. Miss Lorraine, we have been in concerts together, and I think from Kentucky, and
down in South Carolina, Sumter.
And South Carolina. And didn't we do something at Pastor Randy's? Were you at Pastor Randy's back in 2019 or 2018?
No.
Listen, a lot of this stuff has been going because I haven't been out, doing the tour like y'all have. Y'all ladies are out there, and I want to tip my hat to you that what y'all do and how y'all do it and everything else is amazing. How you can get together and go out and sing and do things. Y'all brought the Carolinas to girl. Each one of y'all have an individual singing career of your own. And, we got the most talented lady here. She sits behind the microphone with her sister, and they do Talk with Mama. And what a great show it is. And it airs on all of our TV networks. And, it's amazing to say all the TV networks because we're highly blessed. And we've had Miss Lorraine has been playing on the WOTG TV and WGHC TV for a while with her videos, and she didn't even know that. Did you know that?
I knew it.
I know you know because you've been watching. But it's so great to have y'all here. And tonight you're going down to Alan Presley, which is on our WOTG West program. And you think that I'm going to ask the hard questions? He's going to have his belly full, and he'll forget. He'll say, "Where are we at, Linda? I got to go take a nap. You take care of the rest of this." And his brother Alan's watching. Hey, how you doing, guys? It's so great. So y'all got together and made the Carolina Girls. Tell us a little bit about this.
Oh, wow.
We have to blame Alan for that too.
Yes.
We do. We do.
Yes.
How that came about.
Well, I've been to Alan's show several times, and I introduced Alan to these two ladies and another friend of mine that sing, and so he's like, Lorraine, all these people that's doing all this singing, and so sometime a year or so ago, I teased and said, well, I'm going to see if I can get those singers, and we're going to come see you and be on your program. Well, that just kind of left my mind. Well, Miss Lady Linda, she said something about 2 months ago, and she said they might think that I've forgotten this, but I've not forgotten it. She's supposed to bring Wanda Gray and Wanda Gray Smith, and Rita Broyles with her up to our house and be on our program. And we have just bought a home in Burnsville, North Carolina, last year, and so we're not too far away. And I got to thinking, well, maybe these girls will come stay with me for a weekend in the mountains, and we can go up and see them. And tomorrow's his birthday, so what an appropriate time to go up and see Brother Alan. So that has come to pass, and they have been talking about it on that show. And Thomas Lilly, our friend that tunes in every night that sings too, he's said, oh, yeah, the Carolina Girls, they going up to see you. And so that's how our name came about. We had a name before we even became a group.
Before we even knew it.
Yes.
Well, what was so funny is that Alan, I was talking to Alan the next morning, and Alan said, you ain't going to believe who I've got. And, Alan, he gets super excited when he gets somebody big and famous comes to his and I said, hold on just a second, the Carolina Girl. And he kept going, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm new to all this gospel stuff. I mean, I've been doing this for 5 years now. I came from Florida, and the biggest person that I met in my career was Ronnie Henson, and Ronnie, don't take this offense, I didn't know who he was. I'll be honest with you. I did not know the Hensons, because when we started this radio station way back in 2014 and started putting it together, the only gospel, I had 7 CDs that I had had for almost a ton of years, and the biggest part of them was Jonathan Bond. And that tells you anything, because I've known Jonathan since high school, and I've known Jonathan from around here, and I didn't know anybody else. So I go to Jonathan. I said, "Hey, is there anybody else?" Started getting on the internet, so I know Greg Witt had a Emmaus Road Quartet. Timmy Witt had his group. Well, I went to school with Timmy and Greg, so I know those guys. And I'm just like, okay, well, Lord bless me. And then we got a big trip, and I went out west, went out to Oklahoma, and spent some time out there with Ken Turner and Severance Call or something. I get these names confused. Everybody's got a name here and there, and I just, hey, how you doing? But anyway, I went out there, and I met some really great groups. And we got groups from Texas and everything else. And then I went to another, I was getting ready that year to go to this festival. And there was a guy by the name of Dusty Alamon. And if you ever get to meet Dusty, if you ever get to him, he is one of the top artists there is out there. And Dusty says, hey, let me introduce you to everybody at this festival. And I go, okay. So I went up to Tampa when we lived in Florida. I went up to Tampa to the Cowboy roundup and so I got to meet some great people there, and then another one spun off with Richard Kaiser, and then I got to go meet Charlie McCoy, and it was just like a domino effect, and it just kept building and building and building and building, and that's where we're at now. And now here comes the hard questions.
And before you come on a question, you were also at the ICCAN network when I was there in Kentucky year before last.
Yes,
so
ma'am, I was.
that's another place we were together.
Yeah, and in having the opportunity to work with Jan Hardbuck and work with the people out in Oklahoma and work with the people up in Ohio, it's a great blessing, because to me, this little boy that didn't know anything about doing this, I'm a computer technician by trade, as you can tell. And I don't know the first thing. It's like I was telling somebody here here the other day, I am not a sound guy. If it sounds good to me and it sounds good to you, we're ready to rock and roll. And, well, we know that Jesus is going to be rolling those potatoes, as we could heard as y'all were coming in. But it's so great, again, to have y'all here and have the opportunity of the Carolina Girls. And each one of y'all has your own different ministry. I just got to meet Miss Rita this morning and hear her sing, and hear y'all sing the harmony that y'all sung together today was a very blessing. And every song, I mean, I didn't show the tear, I had to get it. I'm a big guy here. I had to turn my head, but I was very touched by each and every one of the songs that you sung. And it was just like when you were singing Amazing Grace, God touched me and said somebody out there needed to hear that again. Because if the history knows in the song Amazing Grace, it went through a time in history that, we don't want to talk about it, something there. But it was written in a time when we were at the darkest part of America. And it was amazing what God could do with this song and how it has embraced us as a nation, and think that we have that. And every time that it's sung, they should stop and think. It was like I was telling my wife at the Declaration of Independence, there was a video out there on Facebook that tells the story of the Star-Spangled Banner. And it talked about how Francis Scott Key was on the ship, and they were telling us, and they was prisoners down, and if they would just give up the fort, they'd let the prisoners come to shore. Well, that night, the flag stood there, and we all know about the Star-Spangled Banner song, but they was wondering why that song, or why that flag was still standing. And Francis Scott Key said, there's no way that been bomb. But a song like that, and go in and you see what happened, the people that paid the price for that flag. There was bodies stacked up, mothers, grandfathers, grandmothers, aunts, and uncles, while holding that flag, as that flag stood just like that. And we just got done celebrating the 4th of July.
Mm-hmm.
And here y'all are, 12 days later, here in the WOTG, WGHC, and the FWC studios, and we thank y'all so much. So, what is the scenes behind the scenes of getting you three together?
Oh my!
Wow.
We do have tissues, so if this is such a hard question.
Well, we just decided that we might, Brother Allen would probably enjoy some live music on his show, And so, needless to say, we decided that maybe we should do a little singing live music on his show, and that therefore started a trio.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I love trios. I always have. One of my favorite trios has been, and you're listening, guys. I have never been able to interview Gold City, and that is the last group out of my 7 years that I haven't got to interview. I've met with the McCameys. That was one of my favorites. I've met with the Freemans. That was another one. As outside of gospel music, those were the people that I liked the most. And when I get in here and we start talking, we start seeing each other at concerts, it becomes family. And Wanda, you know, and Lorraine, you know of what's gone on in the last 2 years in my life and with my wife and with myself. And it's been hard, I'll be honest with you, to keep on doing what God wants you to do. But you know, he told me 3 months ago when I was sitting at the bed, he said, remember the cross. And he says, you got 3 cuts on your arm. And I got them right up here, one here, and one there. And he said, remember the nails. And I said, well, you know what? I'm not a big wimp anymore. And I shed those tears. But the traveling on the road, and I know you're everywhere. I mean, you've been to Kentucky, you've been to Alabama, you've been to South Carolina. Have you been down to Louisiana too?
I am going this season. I'm going in the fall, and I can't hardly wait.
Voyons.
To the ICCAN, yeah.
Well, I got.
Are you going?
I wished I could. I wish I could. Brother Hunter Logan's going to be there with his radio station, and he does a really great job. So he's taking over there. So we'll let him take care of that. Next year, who knows what's going to happen, because I plan on, after all this is said and done, with my shoulder and stuff, I'm going to get back out there, and I'm going to bring the network. I'm going to bring the TV network and stuff.
Good.
So while letting WOTG sit here, we're going to bring WGHC and WOTG and other ones together. So, you know, you might catch me in Branson. You might catch me down in Texas. You may catch me in Oklahoma.
Nice.
You might even catch me in Michigan. May catch me in Ohio. No telling where I'm going to be.
The Lord needs to send you a helicopter.
Well, you know, I used to make all these posts when I was on when I used to run my computer company, and a good friend of mine said, he says, Chuck, how can you be in Chattanooga and you just left New Orleans? I said, man, that's a lot of things you can do when you just hit Facebook. But Miss Wanda, what do you got coming up on the horizon?
Well, right now, my sister and I are doing table talk, and we're singing as much as possible. She's singing with Gil McGee tonight, or she probably would have visited with us today.
Oh, wow. Well, tell her I said hey.
Hey, Jeannie, Chuck said hey.
And hey, Jeannie, we really enjoy your program. We've got some great. Well, you know how funny this is I've been looking for podcasts. I'm not the other Roku channels out there. I think that if you've got a podcast and it's great, we've got some young girls coming all the way out from Branson that we're airing that had a podcast. They're just sitting there and they talked to Miss America a couple weeks ago, and I reached out to them, and it come across, and I think he did it on purpose. I'm not for sure, but anyway, posted it on Facebook. And I came across it, and I was sitting there the very first episode, and I contacted you and said, we gotta run this, and I've enjoyed every moment of it. And we've got all your that Barry Baz made the videos for you.
Yeah.
Barry give me some of the videos, and Barry, if you're watching this, hey brother, he give us your videos, so we've been airing those.
Well, thank
And
you.
so late at night, we like to run the videos, and the people go, hey, it's great, you know, we're doing that. And the Diddy sisters just joined us a couple of nights ago.
The Daddy.
Daddy sisters?
D-E-T-T-Y? Daddy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll get it correct one day. Don't hold my Louisiana voice up, okay, now?
I was just making sure that was who you were
Yeah.
talking about.
Those girls are awesome.
They are, and their uncle has been my producer for 10 years, I guess, and he was Rita's producer as well.
Oh, well. Well, I know Papa.
Papa?
I know their papa.
Okay.
I know Amber's daddy.
Okay. Now, I don't know him.
Rick Rohr. I know Rick's a good friend of mine. But anyway, so it's great. Now, we've asked you the hard questions.
Well.
We've asked Miss Wanda the hard question.
Oh,
Now
my.
it's Miss
Put
Rita's
me on
turn.
the hot seat. Yes.
That's it. Well, that's the reason I gave you the nice
That-
comfortable
is this
sheet. And I
got the
said,
ejector button on it.
it
so.
could have.
Okay.
Miss Rita, tell us a little bit about you and your ministry.
Well, I have done it for many years. Very young, started, and just over the years, God has really blessed. I have been able to travel the road and as a solo artist, and I've tried through the years to work with groups or to make a group of my own because I love groups and I love group harmony. But the Lord just didn't bless that, and every time it just didn't work out. It's one thing if you can find people that are talented and can work in a group and do all the things that a group needs to have done. But it's another thing if your heart is in the right place and your life is in order. I don't care to be a part of something that they're going to go and party on Saturday night at some bar or whatever and then want to go sing in a church with me on Sunday. So that was not my thing. I fought that for a lot of years, and people can put on a false front sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went through a lot of that, and I decided, well, Lord, I guess it's me and you. And as long as I got him, that's all I need anyway. But it's a great ministry for him. I love doing it. My heart has been in it since very young. But I've always wanted to travel with a group environment. And God just hasn't opened that door yet. So we'll see what he has in store. This last year or so since COVID hit, it's been a very tough year for me. I lost my husband last year, and we lived in Texas. You mentioned Texas a bit ago, that you traveled in there, and we lived out there for like 3.5 years due to his job.
Mm-hmm.
So I was writing. I have 4 CDs that God has allowed me to do.
And thank you. And thank you
books.
for the CDs.
Yeah. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And books that while I was there in Texas, I couldn't travel and sing like I did back here. Was booked a lot, but out there was really no place for the Southern gospel, and it was mostly contemporary in the area where I was.
Well,
so that was hard.
I'll tell you right now. If you make it back down to Texas, you let me know when you go.
Okay.
I've got a very good friend that runs matter of fact, I got 3 good friends that are down there, but I got one that runs Pastor Mario Ramos, which if you followed the network at any time, you've seen Pastor Mario come on and do a thing on WOTG or any of the networks. But his name is Pastor J.R. Franklin, and he runs the Biker Church in Wiley, Texas.
Okay.
And I'm gonna tell you right now, he's had Miss Pam on there quite a few times. I can't remember what Miss Pam's last name is, but she's a really good artist, and she's been in Pastor JR's church quite a few. So JR, if you know these 3 ladies and you'd like them to come by your church, just give me a shout and I'll hook you up with all 3 of them. So are y'all going out tonight to go over to Allen's, and he's going to be asking you the really hard questions. I think Miss Linda will be the most. And but what's next after tonight? Where y'all going from there?
Well, where I live in North Carolina in the mountains, there's a Laurel Branch Baptist Church right out. I can walk out my yard and go into theirs. And so they've invited us to come over on Sunday morning and sing the specials, and then we're doing a full concert that evening outdoors at their church at 7 o'clock on Sunday night.
Awesome.
So unless the Lord opens some more doors.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, you 3 need to get together and put out a CD, because I think the harmony together. How many female quartets are there?
Ooh. Quartets?
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard question.
Just saying. I mean, are y'all ready to be booked and get on the road?
I would love it.
Better yet,
Please, yeah.
we'll have to ask the bus driver behind you if he's ready to be traveling.
Well, he's already going out to Louisiana. He's going to Louisiana for the ICANN network this fall, and so That'll be halfway across the country almost, right, Chuck?
Well,
We had to hog time to
I
come here
do-
today.
I do have ties to Louisiana because I'm from St. Bernard Parish, from down the road. And Jennings is here. I'm down below New Orleans. And so I do have ties. I grew up, biggest part of my life down in Louisiana, right down from the French Quarter. And listening to jazz was one of my greatest things when I was
Oh,
a
yeah.
teenager. I love jazz.
Yeah.
And when you can sit down there and you could hear Fats Domino playing on the piano, one of the I stayed in Jackson Square because at that time I was not of age to be down that way, and I would listen to Pete Fountain, which both of those artists are gone to be with the Lord now, and some other greats down there. And you don't have to be a big time jazz lover to go down to New Orleans and hear. Just sit out in Jackson Square, you can hear somebody singing or playing or something like that. It just the music down there is just great. But then you got to be careful places that you don't want to go because it can ruin your Christian. What were you doing over there? I don't know. But anyway, so I didn't want to keep you ladies too late because I know that y'all got to, get over to Alan's because Alan's probably hungry since you told him that. But anything else that y'all would? I tell you what, Miss Wanda asked me the hard questions.
What do you see next, Chuck?
What I see next for this
Yes,
network?
What are you doing next?
We are in the plans, and I'm glad you asked that. Is that we're in the plans of doing something real big, starting next year. If any of y'all knew who Gunnar Carr was, Gunnar Carr was an old outlaw biker that carried a guitar on his back, and he wrote a song called Sunday Morning. Now I could be wrong about that, but he sung the song Sunday Morning. And I got a chance to meet Gunnar Carr one time when I was all the way up at Branson at one of the GMAs, and back in 2017, and I got to sit down with him. I got to speak with him on the phone quite a few times. And Gunnar was just a sweet. Come out of Texas and stuff. Have you heard of Gunnar Carr?
No, I do not.
Okay. And Gunnar was from Texas, and his wife is good friends with Pastor JR. And so we're planning next year to do a big 4-time concert series, one in Texas, one in Durango somewhere, so you know where Durango comes in at. We're going to do one here, and we're going to do one in Branson.
Wow.
And so it's not going to happen this year. If it happens next year, because we want to make sure COVID is over, we're in the planning stages, and this is going to be something big because we're bringing the networks involved in the TV networks, and we're probably going to hire some type of TV crew if we don't have the equipment by then. And so the nights that we turn on the camera, it's going to be aired on TV, and it'll be just like. And we've got some other things that's in the plans that I can't say, but I will tell you this, and I will give a plug out to my partner, Mr. Marty Smith. Marty's got a new program that's called the Nashville Now, and it will be coming to the WOTG TV, Branson Gospel TV, and WGHC TV. And we'll really have Bev McCann's got a cooking show. Jim Shelton's got his program on there, and we're going to get some positive thoughts from the Positive Cowboy himself. And it's just great to what God has rolled out. And let me tell you something. This roller coaster ride happened last year when I was sitting down, and I've been praying. I've been looking for something like this, and having the opportunity, because in Florida, if you followed me when I was in Florida, I had a studio, and in the studio that we had down there, we had appointed 2 come in, Randy and Amy Nichols, and we had the Deans. And when the Deans came to town, they were looking for us. I didn't even know Tony and Tina Dean at all. And you want to talk about good friends they are. And I used to say little Noah Dean because he did the Battle Cry song when Noah was so tall. Noah's almost as tall as his dad. And they're great people. And the fans that we have met from Florida and all the way up here have been just great and stuff. So the hard question is, what's next? Only God knows. Because I wake up one morning and God said, I want you to do this. And I would have never have dreamed of having y'all in the studio. I would have never dreamed of it. And God just keeps with this production. When I first started it, we were going to do just preaching. And it's been opening up, and I was going to do the radio show because you can see the banners in the background. And it has just opened up. And
You're available though.
and you know, I made a comment, Wanda, about 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I said, God, I'm tired of sitting at home. I am. I'm tired of sitting at home. And Donna, you know, if Donna needs me, I'm out of here. I'm home as quickly as possible. But God has opened up doors for us to be able to do what we're doing. I'm a full-time caregiver for my wife, so I can't leave out of town like the big trips that I want. But God told me it's coming, and we're planning to move to Tennessee here just shortly, somewhere around this area where we can be close to the church. And it's just amazing that the doors that God has opened, and it just keeps growing. And you know, the things that I say is that if God wants you to do something, He's going to find a way for you to do it, and that's all I can say. Because I tell you right now, I never planned on doing this ministry. I never planned on doing radio. But when you asked Him, will He take care of your granddaughter? And back in 2013, well, all the way back to 2010, God said, hey, let's create a radio station. And I go, okay, Lord, sure, we'll do it. God had come back, and you know, I thought that, and I know He knows all, but I thought, well, if we do this, He'll forget about it. 4 years later, my granddaughter, that is AJ, and if you see my Facebook page, you can see me. They came to see us last month, and one of the biggest things is that little girl almost died from CCAMS, and CCAMS is a cancer that you get that a teenager will get later on in life. Well, they've got the technology now to where they can actually go in and find it with all the cams and all the ultrasounds and everything else. If they can look on Mars, I guarantee they can find something in you. If they can catch it quick enough, they can get rid of it. And she wasn't even out of the womb yet, and they had already found out that she had CCAMS. And so they were able to do the surgery 6 months while her lungs were developing, and they went in and they did a not a lung transplant, but they went in and cut pieces out of her lungs on both sides to where this would not, wherever the tumor was, and got rid of it.
Oh, wow.
And let me tell you something, 8 years old, and she's already messaged me twice on Snapchat where we can play a game together, and she's a blessing. And during the pandemic, I picked up 3 more grandkids. And so I got Sophie. Yeah. You know, you went from one for all these years, and then God said, let's hurry up and get this up to where you got some time when you don't have time to work in. I'm telling you, and Sophie and Colton and little Miss Elvira is, and then my son's going to get me on that because her name is Lith. Oh man, I can't believe I messed this up. But anyway, her middle name's Elvira, and so she is such a little adorable. Get on the phone, get to do chit chats with her every week. So that's what's been going on with me for the last year, and we're so excited about your program coming up because we're fixing to hit the 9th week of this. This has been going on since May that we started it, and so we're excited. It's almost like middle of the season for TV series. You know, so
We're on every Tuesday night and every Thursday night.
That's
7
correct.
o'clock Eastern time.
That's it. And if
So
you're
I'd like to invite everyone to join.
if you're in Central Time, that means when we say 8 o'clock, that's 7 o'clock y'all's time. And then if you keep on
That's
going
right.
down, so you just keep following. So if you want to do it, but anyway, it's been so great to have y'all in the studios. Miss Lorraine, what's coming up with you in the next little bit?
I was just sharing with the girls that, well, first off, I'm just releasing a CD of my latest album with Heart Song Ministry, and that's coming out now. But I've been working on a children's album, and I want it to be an audio book. I've got a story and songs with it.
It is fun.
And I let them listen to some of the songs, and it's just so uplifting. And so I've got to get that accomplished with the good Lord's help. And I sure could use an illustrator. Any illustrators out there that will give me a good deal?
Alan Presley. I'm sure that if we're out there, get a hold of me at WOTG Radio and hit us up there. And Lorraine is looking for a illustrator. I'm sure we can help you out. That'd be something good for Pastor JR to do. I can see that happening now. But anyway, it's been such a great honor. And guys, if you've been watching us here on the Chuck Bryant Show Unplugged, we have the I started to say the Florida girls, the Carolinas girls, and the next tour will be Florida. After the Georgia girls are done, they're going to Alabama. It'll be the Alabama girls, and they're all going down to Louisiana, and we're going to hit the hayride. It's the Louisiana girls. But anyway, so and Texas is around.
Oh.
We'll go through Mississippi. It's the Mississippi girls, and we get into Texas, Oklahoma. We're just going to have to say the Western girls. But anyway, it's been such a great to have y'all here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It has been a hoot. I'm going to tell you this right now. From the music and to the fellowship and worship, it is so much to be here. Lorraine, every time that I do a broadcast inside the church now, I always ask somebody to close us in prayer. Do you mind closing us in prayer?
No, I do not mind. Lord, thank you for this opportunity today. And Lord, I just pray that you would take this program and that you would use it for your glory. Let it be heard, Lord, by those that need a special touch. God, we just thank you for Chuck and what he's doing. Lord, I pray that you would give him wisdom, Lord, for his networking, Lord, is just amazing to hear how you have just opened doors and creating this network for your glory. And Lord, we're just thankful to be a small part of it today. And Lord, I just pray that your will would be done in each one of us, God, that's sitting around this table, in our ministries, Lord, wherever we go, what we're doing for you, Lord, just be with us and help us and lead us and guide us. And God, we just thank you for every blessing. Thank you for my husband that's here today that helps me so much in my ministry. And Lord, we just thank you and give you all the glory. And I pray now as we're traveling to Brother Allen's tonight that you would just give us traveling mercies. And thank you for him and Miss Linda for what they mean to us, God. And just bless them and their program. We love you, Jesus. Amen.
Amen. And y'all been watching the Chuck Bryant Show Unplugged, where we really get down and ask the really hard questions. If you didn't notice over here, but Miss Wanda had a couple of water beads up on her head. She was sweating to question it out. But guys, we thank y'all so much for tuning in this afternoon. And we got to put the studio back together. We had some hammers where we had to nail up a few things. And to get the Carolina girls in here, and I mean taking two states to make it one great quartet, it's awesome. I'm going to tell you right now, it was awesome. Hey, you know what? If NQC, if you're watching, these girls are available coming in a few months, so they'll love to sing at NQC or maybe Creekside. Rob, if you're watching the program, there you go.
Hey, I'm going to Creekside.
Hey, you could take the girls with you.
I could,
There you
yes,
go. Doors are
yes.
opening up already. Guys, to be here with the Carolina producer, the bus driver, and the equipment's manager. And we give a shout out to him too. May God bless you until we see you again on the Chuck Bryant Show Unplugged, live from the Family Worship Center here in Cleveland, Tennessee.